What's your purpose in life? Who am I? Why are we here? We've all struggled with finding answers to those questions until now. Today's guest is going to provide us with a simple formula to help you discover your purpose. Welcome to Havilah and Friends. I'm your host, Havilah Malone, and every week I bring you inside my amazing world of mindfulness teachers, inspirational speakers, business experts, celebrities, and so much more to have the conversations that matter to you. And today's guest is a certified relationship specialist, a certified behavioral analysis trainer, and speaker with the John Maxwell team. He's had over 20 years of experience in personal and professional development. And this Tennessee resident is a three-time author and the founder of the Global Health Revolution. Please welcome my good friend, Dr. David Banks. Greetings, David.
Hello, Havilah. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me to be a part of this.
Oh, you are so very welcome. I'm glad that you're able to join us today. And, you are such an accomplished and dapper gentleman, I must say. And, I want to know, you help people with really embracing and finding their purpose. I think a lot of people struggle with what am I supposed to be doing? What's going to fill my soul? What was I brought here for on this planet, Earth, and for you, have you always known what your purpose was and what you came here to do?
No, Havilah, let me give you the quick story. I grew up, I'm the youngest of three. I have an older brother, older sister. I grew up, had a very low self-esteem about myself. Didn't really have a lot of people celebrating me. So I had a lot of negativity in my life, but I've always had an interest in wanting to help people. I guess I was the nerd during high school that all the cheerleaders would come to me and say, David, my boyfriend, the jock, he's hurting my feelings. He's not treating me right. So they would somehow come to me. I've always had I really didn't want people to feel like they were alone. I wanted people to really feel like they had someone in their lives. So it was a journey. It was a journey helping me to kind of get through what I had to get through so that it really allowed me to help other people. So it was a discovery. It was a journey of a discovery.
Yeah, and you were helping so many people around the world to really identify their true selves and to do that, first identifying their purpose. And
That's right.
So how did you go about identifying your purpose?
Well, like I said, it was through a journey. And I remember years ago, Havilah, reading so many books about purpose. You have a purpose. But at the end of the book, it would just say, hey, congratulations. Want you to know you have a purpose, but nobody was able to take me through that process. So it was kind of just kind of piecemealing things together. So I've really, from early 2000, was able to really develop a strategy, a formula of helping people discover their purpose. And I have really kind of worked with people in other countries because I really wanted to make sure, is it just for Americans? So I've done it in India, in the Caribbeans, and it has really come to the point of really helping them because I like to stay simple. Why complicate something? I like to stay simple. So I've really been able to really develop a strategy of helping people discover their purpose.
I love that. And I actually took
That's right.
you and actually doing the purpose discovery form and getting that information. So ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have ever struggled with trying to figure out what in the world am I supposed to be doing with my life, and I want more, and I just can't really articulate. I can't really put down to pen and paper what this thing is supposed to be. I want you to take out some pen and paper. I want you to get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because Dr. Banks, I want you to share with people, what is this formula? How can people discover their purpose?
Excellent. Very good. Very good. All right. Like you said, please have everyone to write something down. All right. Let's talk about the first question. The very first question in discovering your purpose is what do you see in society as a whole? Because so many times we are so closed in with what's going on in our lives, we don't ever look out. So the first question, what do you see in society that grieves you or burdens you? Now, why do I say it that way? Is because your inside purpose is an answer to an outside problem. So since most people don't know what's inside of them, the way I can start figuring it out is finding out what's an outside problem that burdens you. Now, here's the difference between burdens you versus irritates you. Irritation is something, a slow person on the highway, they're in front of you. That's an irritation. Irritation is, I wish they would stop. And if they stop, I'll be all right. That's irritation. But a burden is something that weighs on you. So that's got to be the difference, because I've done this so many times. And most people, when I ask the question, the very first thing is irritation, because that's more surface. But you got to think a little deeper and really think, what do I see in society that burdens me or grieves me? And how do you know if it's authentic or not? You have to answer this question. Whatever this issue is, does it really affect me to get angry about it or saddened about it? So for me, my number one answer is when I see people living in mediocrity or feeling like they have to settle in survival, Havilah, that grieves me, you know? Now, it angers me when they try to give excuses of why they feel like, see, that messes me up right there. So that's the first question.
So question number one, so what grieves you or what burdens you?
What grieves you or what burdens you? All right. Number two, what population do you feel compassion? What population that you feel drawn to? Because every purpose, inside purpose, is really targeted to a detailed population. It could be people in general. It could be women. It could be men. It could be children. It could be families. It could be single families. So you really got to figure out, where is my passion or my compassion? Where is it target? For me, it's people in general. But I've done this enough where people say, hey, it's women that have been abused or children. So that's the second question. Where is your compassion? What population is it? All right. So you
teens or
exactly.
families, seniors, or like specific interest groups, or
Exactly.
women or men, or you're saying people in general?
That's right. That's right. So if a person, I always tell when I take people through this, it's like, oh, Dr. Banks, I want all of them. I said, well, let's do people in general. All right. So some people, they just got a big heart. They just want to love everybody. So I'm really trying to help them to hone in. Why? Because Havilah, if everybody was really walking out their purpose, every sector of society will be taken care of. That's how it looks. All right. So the third.
So just kind of recap. So after you have decided in society what grieves you or burdens you,
that's right.
What group of people is it that you want to serve?
Exactly. All right. Third question is, what's your message? What's your message to that group? Every purpose carries a message. So if your situation was, man, I really hate to see children being hurt and taken advantage of. Your population is teens. Well, what would be your message? What would be your message to that group? So you really got to figure out, if I had a captive audience of this group, what would I try to say to them? So that's the third focus of purpose. What's my message? What's kind of an objective to them? All right. Number four is basically, you have to choose what I call a power word, a word that you would describe how you would like to help that group. Would you like to motivate them, cultivate, challenge, motivate, empower, minister? So a list of words that I've come up with to really kind of help a person identify what would be some motivating words of how you would like to help that person. Now, you have to choose two because the whole focus of this at the end, we're helping you to come up with a beautiful sentence. All right. Now,
And list of words or some sample words, like you want to challenge them or revive them or minister to them, or
exactly.
serve them. We're going to put a list of those words underneath this video so that you'll have access to that as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Excellent, excellent. All right. The last question. The last question is, what is your outcome? What do you want this group to become as a result of how you want to impact them? So it would start sentences like to live a fulfilled life, to be fruitful, to be productive, to be fulfilled, to reach higher goals. So the whole focus, Havilah, is to make sure what's the end result? What do you want them to become as a result of your influence upon their lives? So that's that question, the answer to that question. And then after you answer, so we'll go back real quick. First, what burdens you or grieves you? Second, what's the population? Third, what's your message? Fourth, what are your power words of how you want to impact their lives? And then the fifth question is, what do you want the outcome to become? All right.
Now, simple.
Hey, when you really look at this, Havilah, I've had so many people when they first started, they was thinking, come on, Dr. Bain, you cannot help. They said, how long is this process? Well, if you are focused, my friend, in 15 to 20 minutes, it just really, if you are ready for this, Havilah, it doesn't take a long time. If you fighting it, it's going to really work against you. But if you really ready to really know why you're on this earth, it's just all about asking the right questions.
Yes.
It's all about asking, and both of us,
questions are the
power of questions. You know that.
Absolutely. The questions are the answer. And so I want you to share with everyone, so what ended up being your mission statement or your purpose statement from following this 5-step process?
Excellent. So I call it the purpose code. So what you're going to do with those 5 questions is basically 4, 2, 3, 5. 4, 2, 3, 5. You're going to take the answers to those questions. So the answer to number 4 is the power words. All right. So impact and empower. Those are my words. All right. The second is number 2. What's your population? Mine is people. Next, the answer to number 3. The answer to number 3 is what your message is. And then the answer to number 5. So 4, 2, 3, 5. So when you put all of that together, for me, it will sound like to impact and empower people to succeed in their personal and professional life in order for them to be productive and fulfilled. So when you take it together, so to impact and empower, answer to number 4, people. Answer to number 2, what's the answer to number 3? I want people to succeed personally as well as professionally. Answer to number 5, why do I want that? Because I want people to be productive and fulfilled.
I love that. And it gives you such a clear statement to be able to reaffirm to yourself, to be able to stand in and then deliver your gifts to the world. And a year ago, when we had done this process together, I'll actually share what my purpose statement was. And it says to impact and empower women to believe in themselves despite whatever they have gone through in order for them to fearlessly create from a place of power. And I'm like, yes, that is my purpose in life.
Hey, watch out, world. Watch out, world.
Yes. And I had always, had for myself like this phrase that just ran through my mind all the time, and that was that my life was here to be a catalyst for positive change, and then this process helped to even like more deeply go in and explain, okay, well, what would that look like? And so I love this process, and I'm so glad that you're able to share this with people. And I want to know, okay, so you find your purpose, you say, okay, this is it. Can your purpose change?
Well, I'll say it like this, because what I've tried to do, because so many people get kind of get the difference between purpose versus goals. I personally say your purpose can be altered, but you don't want every year to go this process and you get another one, because your purpose really needs to outlive you. Your purpose is really asking who's going to do it, what you're going to do, and why you're going to do it. Who's going to do it? You're going to do it. What am I going to do? I'm going to impact and empower people to succeed. Why? Because I want people to be productive and fulfilled. Now, goals are basically asking when, how, and where. So I truly believe your purpose can once you do it right, it really kind of sets the standard. And for me, I tell people your purpose needs to be your filter in decision making and partner selection, because I tell ladies, if your purpose is to empower children, but you're dating a guy and you asked him, how do you feel about children? He's like, man, I hate children. They a brat. I hate them. Well, that should let you know, okay, I don't care how he looks, how he smells. That's probably not a situation, because if someone does not complement your purpose, Havilah, it's probably not a good choice.
Your purpose will really help to drive all the decisions that you make in your life in every single aspect of your life. And that's a really powerful thing to help you to create a congruent life, one that's aligned with your purpose and with you. And so now, so people use this purpose code, and they discover their purpose, or they decide what it is for themselves. Now what?
Excellent. All right. Beautiful question. All right. The first thing they need to do is to settle on the wording. See, you don't want to keep messing with the wording. You want to get the wording down succinct. So go ahead and solidify, this is the wording. All right. Now, after that, Havilah, the biggest thing is you got to embrace it. You got to accept the fact, this is why I'm in the earth. Because if you don't accept it, you're still going to try to fight against it. After that, you need to convert it to memory. You need to get it in your memory. Why? Because in your brain, there's a portion of your brain called your reticular cortex. Now, most people may not know the name, but they know the function, how it works. So if a person has a red Lexus, all right, they've taken ownership of that red, nice Lexus. All right, now once they take ownership of it, this is mine, they've embraced it, it activates this reticular cortex. So as they are driving down the road, all of a sudden they start seeing other red Lexus. It's like, wait a minute, there's one, there's one, there's one. Now, all of these people didn't get a red Lexus when you got one, but see, what did it do? It heightened your sight. So when you embrace your purpose, Havilah, it heightens that reticular cortex, so it causes you to see opportunities. Unbelievable. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
You know the universe is waiting for a human being to discover their purpose. And now the universe says, now since you know why you're on the earth, you got to embrace it. Now I'm going to change your sight where you're going to see opportunities left and right. Havilah, I tell you, oh my goodness.
Oh,
and
my
now
goodness.
opportunities are just coming up. You can recognize them and you know they belong to me.
And that's the power of that whole system, and you coming to that realization and embracing of your purpose, because that's when the doors open. That's when the things that have always been there, because they've always been there. But
that's right.
You get to start seeing them. That's when you
that's it.
in relationship to like your purpose, which is to empower and impact, people, around the world. You created this global health revolution. I want you to tell us a little bit about that and how you have, used your purpose to be able to help so many people with this.
Well, just like we talked earlier, I want people to succeed in their personal life. And one way you can succeed in your personal life is to really take charge of your health. Just like you said, it's hard to fulfill your purpose when you are obese or you're not feeling well. How are you going to help anybody when you can't even get up? So I truly believe in that, I remember years ago when I discovered my purpose, not 2008. After that, Havilah, I trained my mind to come up with 100 ways of how I was going to really live out my purpose, because that's how I live. I live by me utilizing my purpose. I never burn out. Why? Because I'm living exactly, I always think about nature. Trees don't burn out. Flowers don't burn out. Why? Because they live in their purpose. If you want to burn out very quick and stress out, nervous breakdown, all of those things are basically living outside of why you were existing in the earth. So when I started thinking about this, I said, here was another idea that I got from my purpose, because I've trained my mind to always help me to come up with ideas of how to impact people. So first of this year, I said, I want to do a health revolution. I want people to take charge of their health, because like you said, we both agree, you cannot be impactful to anybody if you are not taking care of yourself. Always go back when I do training, the airplane. What did they say? If it's a wreck, if it crashes, what's happened? When that thing comes down,
on your face first.
You see what I'm saying? But see, we don't think like that. We think, oh my God, I got to help this, because we are so conditioned to help everybody else instead of making sure we take care of ourselves. So I wanted people, hey, let's take charge. So I developed this Facebook group. It started out Meatless Monday. Just want people to just really learn how not to eliminate, but just replace every Monday some healthy choices other than meat. So that's the start of it. Well, each month we're going to keep adding to that. So one month we're going to really focus on getting active. Another month is making sure your soul is healthy, because definitely from counseling people, I just realized some physical ailments of people really derive from soul wounds that they've not taken care of, So we're going to deal with that. So I'm really excited about it. And like I said, my whole goal is to develop a global health revolution, because I want people to really be healthy in every healthy relationships, healthy emotionally, healthy in relationship. Because when you do that and you are freed up like that, my friend, you can a major impact on society.
Wow. Dr. Banks, you are doing some extraordinary work, helping people to not only identify why they are here, but also how to better actually fulfill the purpose that you are here for. So thank you so much for that. And please tell people how they can get in contact with you or be a part of the things that you're doing.
Excellent. Well, mainly on Facebook, facebook.com/David Banks, PhD. They can go on there and find me. That's where they can find the Meatless Monday and also all the other activities that I'm doing. So yeah, that's one main way. Just find me on Facebook, facebook.com/David Banks, PhD, and I'll be there. And yeah, great.
Excellent. And we want to hear from you all. So what's your purpose? And we know that when we share our stories, that we get to live, to love, and to learn a little bit more. And I want you to be proof of what's possible. I'm your host, Havilah Malone, and I want to thank you for tuning into this episode of Havilah and Friends. And we can't wait to see you next week.